This is the LowcoSports Lowdown podcast. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett and Wes Kerr. Hey, LowcoSports fans, welcome to another edition of the LowcoSports Lowdown. I'm your host, Justin Jarrett, joined as always by Wes Kerr, and we are talking some local sports here in the South Carolina Low Country. A little bit of everything in the show tonight. Of course, we've got lots of basketball over on the Loco Hoops Report, so you can always head over there to get all your hoops coverage. But we got a little bit of everything, lots of football, a little bit of wrestling, and then we've got an interview with Sully from the Beaufort Academy basketball team. Wes was able to catch up with him last night, so we'll also name our teams of the week, of course, and do a little preview of the Blitz Border Bowl. But first things first, Wes, how you holding up, buddy? It's a tough time out there. Lots of people getting sick. Hope you're staying healthy and safe, and hope everybody listening is too. And if not, hope you get well soon. But how's it been for you over there this week, Wes?
Yeah, I'm doing well. It's been an awesome week, certainly considering with Omicron cases on the rise. Just got my booster shot the other day on Monday. So especially as infections continue to soar, not just across the state, but across the country and now in Beaufort County as well. Just so awesome to get that one done, and nice to be able to get the extra protection, to get boosted. So if you haven't already, get vaccinated, get boosted, and make sure to play your part in helping us all stay safe from a very dangerous virus that continues to spread rapidly across the country and across Beaufort County as well. So, but it's been a great week. Got to cover some high school hoops. What a win for May River and that boys team over Hilton Head High. Just a tremendous game that was. And I really think the Sharks are going to be big time factors in this region now, sitting at 3-1. That was a huge road win to be able to come into Hilton Head, defending lower state champs, and take them down. A terrific comeback effort, down 8 in the fourth quarter and able to get the job done. Great job there by Gavin Blocker and the May River boys basketball Sharks. And I also got to see my alma mater over this past weekend. The Davidson Wildcats off to a fantastic start on the basketball court. They beat Rhode Island Rams, came back to get a 4-point win. So been a fun season over there. Currently are tied for the longest win streak in college basketball, 12 straight victories. Got a tough one tonight against Richmond, but a really strong start for the Wildcats. I think they got a great case to get into the tournament as an at-large bid. Hopefully they can keep that going. But Bob McKillop continuing to do some wonders over there at Davidson. And speaking of college sports, what a week it has been for Georgia Bulldogs fans. Congratulations to the Dogs on finally reaching the pinnacle and winning the national championship. What a game it was. Just terrific defensive battle, especially in that first half. But, man, Stetson Bennett was just sensational in that second half, making some tremendous throws, including that touchdown pass to Adonai Mitchell. He just looked so poised down the stretch after that really shaky start. And, that defense just did a great job pressuring Bryce Young, really getting in his head, I thought, down the stretch. And, of course, that Calais Ringo pick six to seal it. What a play that was, and what a way to cap it off. And then, Stetson Bennett, just an absolute legend right now here in the state of Georgia and in Blackshear, his hometown. And just awesome to see the excitement there, especially in that hometown and across the state of Georgia after that phenomenal season. Just what accomplishment to him, and just a testament to him for how hard he has worked this year, coming in as that walk-on guy and having to prove himself and now gain this opportunity. Just a phenomenal story, and good for Kirby Smart and that Georgia team. And I remember how special it was as a Clemson Tiger fan when they shocked Alabama, that game-winning touchdown pass to Hunter Renfrow in 2017. Just a magical way to win that one. And then I'm sure a lot of those feelings are very similar for that Georgia program and those Georgia fans. And what a season for the Dogs. And between them and the Braves, what a year for Georgia sports fans, exercising those demons from those past few years.
Yeah, no question. I mean, it was a tremendous night for them. I'm not a Georgia fan per se, but I was rooting for them, especially because I have so many friends who are Georgia fans. And, I remember what it felt like when the Cubs won that World Series after waiting my whole life for it. So I know what they're feeling as well. And I was really happy for them. Actually had to take my son to the doctor this week and see our pediatrician, who's a huge Bulldogs fan. So got to congratulate him in person. That was nice. We've also avoided the COVID. We had an exposure in the house last week, but nobody got sick. So power to the vaccinations. We're all vaxxed to the max, and it worked out in our favor. But we do have strep throat in the house, so we're trying to stay healthy. You'll see me masking up if I'm out in public this week, trying to make sure I don't pass anything along, because there's a lot of stuff going around out there. We've seen a lot of basketball games canceled and postponed, even some wrestling matches. So, be safe, wear those masks if you can. And if you're not vaccinated, I can't recommend it enough, because, you look at the stats, and unvaccinated people are accounting for the vast majority of the hospitalizations and serious cases. So get those vaccines, keep safe, keep your neighbors safe, your teammates, your fellow fans, and everything else, because we still got a lot of sports to take care of here in the winter, and we don't want to see this season shut down. But let's talk a little bit of football, Wes, because we've got some big news that's going to break this evening. We're recording in the morning. We're sitting on it. But we've got it. We've got the new football coach at Bluffton High School, and it's very exciting. I think this is a terrific hire, Wes. I think people are going to be really excited to hear that Bluffton has hired Hayden Gregory, who is an assistant at Collins Hill High School up in the Atlanta area. You may know that school's name because the number one recruit in the country came from there, Travis Hunter. He signed with Jackson State and Deion Sanders, which was huge news on signing day. Everybody heard about that. Collins Hill won the state championship as well in Georgia Class 7A, and their head coach's son, Hayden Gregory, is going to take over at Bluffton. Also bringing an assistant with him from Collins Hill, Jared Karkoff. He's the receivers coach over at Collins Hill, as well as the pitching coach for the baseball team. Played baseball at Austin P, and then was drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays in the 35th round and played 3 years in the minors as a reliever. So I think this is a terrific hire for Bluffton. We didn't know which direction they would go with this, but they obviously did the wide, broad search and found a young coach, 26 years old, who has a great pedigree, and I think is going to really inject some excitement into this program.
Yeah, what a great day this is for Bluffton High School. Just an incredible hire for this program. As you mentioned, a lot of question marks on where this school will go, and will they commit to landing that coach that will find a way to really blend the talent on this team and take the program back to the next level. And we've seen it over the early part of this past decade with the Kent Cribbs teams and how good this program can be. And what a amazing hire this is looking like here with Gregory coming over from Collins Hill in Georgia. And he's a young guy with a fresh mind, which I think will provide some great things to this Bluffton football program. And I just think it's a home run hire. This is looking like for the Bobcats someone who is building that track record of success for a big time program, knows how to build and shape a winning football team. And I expect him to do some great things with this program and very quickly, and absolutely an enormous addition to this Bluffton squad. And I cannot wait to have him on the show and talk to him about this upcoming season and his career, to bring that successful, young, talented coach. I think is going to do wonders for the Loco in football and for Bluffton. And the talent's already there on this team. I mean, you look at who they returned. You have a proven quarterback in Max von Hohenstraten, but you look at the weapons around him: Kamari Simmons, just a lightning quick running back and receiver; Jalen Linder at wideout, and then that group of linebackers in Jaquin Williams and Jeremiah Curry, who both had excellent seasons. You do lose DJ Aiken, but you definitely have some key guys back on the line as well. But I really think we could see some movement as well and some additions toward Bluffton after this big hire with that core already in place. I think we could see some others from across the area, maybe some former Bobcats even returning to Bluffton High School across the Loco, which could really bolster this roster even further. So I think it's going to be a fun year over there at Bluffton. I think this Bobcat squad, they have potential to be competitive right away with the talent that's already there in the group. And I think could be a real wild card heading into next season. Of course, no Beaufort in Region 7-4A. So we'll have May River, Hilton Head, James Island, and some others as well who could play a part in this region. Carleton County could certainly be a contender as well. But I'm excited for football season already, especially after this new hire for Bluffton. Going to be a great season, and I'm excited for that Bluffton May River matchup, especially how good that one is going to be if the season goes the way we think it could with this exciting young new head coach.
Yeah, I really think it's a terrific hire. Obviously, we don't know. You never know how it's going to turn out. We don't know how Hayden Gregory will do as a head coach for the first time, but we've seen a lot of first time head coaches have a lot of success in this area, including Bryce Librand, who in a short time took Beaufort to the state championship game. So you can turn it around quickly when you get the student body energized. You get the hallways. Get the guys out of the hallways that aren't playing and things like that. They do lose some key pieces, like you mentioned, DJ Aiken, most notably, but a couple of linemen. Chase Wilfong was probably their best last season, and he'll graduate. But they have a lot back. They have a whole lot back. And you mentioned the four big guys with the two receivers and the two linebackers. I think those are the most important ones. But they'll have a couple of receivers they'll need to replace. I think it'll be interesting to see what kind of schemes Hayden Gregory wants to run and whether he's tied to a certain formation on offense, or whether he takes a look at his personnel and kind of builds his scheme around that. Because they have definitely some interesting pieces and could do some different things. You could see a Kamari Simmons or Jalen Linder running the offense in a Wildcat type situation. You can see both of them back there running some read option. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do with the skill sets that those guys have. So it's going to be really interesting to me to see what he does strategically, scheme wise, and how that fits into the personnel they have there.
Yeah, I think the possibilities are limitless for what we could see with the development of this offense. I love watching Kamari Simmons play. I thought he was underutilized. I would wish I could have seen him a little more last year. And I'm excited to see how they decide to implement him into this offense. I like Max von Hohenstraten a lot. He throws a great deep ball. I think he has the opportunity of developing his game further. So I'm interested to see what they do with Max and possibly someone else if they bring someone else along who could make an impact. But a couple other names that could potentially think about joining this Bluffton team from across the area. Some names I have in mind that could decide to do that. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. But I really like the core of this team. I thought Jaquin Williams and Jeremiah Curry were some of the best linebackers in the area in the Loco, and just that incredible core that we saw with that defense down the stretch. I remember that big time win over Thomas Hayward. They were able to have a terrific game there, which really propelled the Bobcats back in that contest. So I really like the core of this team. I'm thinking an option offense is certainly in the cards with the skill sets and the speed, quickness, explosiveness of a guy like a Kamari Simmons and alongside Jalen Linder, who can really do it all on the offensive side. If they can bolster that line, certainly Will Fung's a big loss. I really like the makeup of this team, and I think Bluffton could do some great things in year one and beyond. So very, very excited for this Bobcat football program. What a tremendous hire there for the Bobcats.
Yeah, I agree completely, and like you, already looking forward to football season because announcements like this get you fired up for next season, and we're definitely looking forward to it. And I hope those May River Bluffton games turn into Donnybrooks down the stretch in the next few years, because they've been a little bit of a snooze fest the last few years. So I'd like to see that rivalry get back to being a little more competitive. But let's talk a little bit more football, Wes, because Cole DeMarzo, we mentioned a couple weeks ago, he was on the move from Michigan State in the transfer portal. He's going to be a Cowboy. He's going to Wyoming to play in the Mountain West, and I think this is a good landing spot for Cole. I think he's going to have a chance to make a big impact there, and I was impressed by his dad wrote a little bit on Facebook about the process and how hard he worked in marketing himself and making those connections and trying to find opportunities. And, he gets to Wyoming and obviously he likes something about the fit there. But what do you think about Cole DeMarzo as a Wyoming Cowboy?
I'm excited. I think this is a great landing spot for Cole, and I'm sure he wanted to have a successful career at Michigan State. When you go to a school like that, you want to find a way to get involved and clamp the depth chart. But I think this is another example of how this COVID age is giving these group of football players a chance to really take some time and decide what place is the best fit for them. And I think Cole should have a great opportunity to compete for a job here at Wyoming. What a career that he had under BJ Payne back in Hilton Head High. Just an absolute lockdown defender, a game wrecker for that Seahawks squad. And I think he should get a chance to do some big things for the Cowboys. They're coming off a bowl game victory, 7-6 on the season. Terrific program. Craig Bowl now in his 9th year head coach. at the helm. He coached Josh Allen, who has been huge and really putting the program on the map. Now one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. And for the Marzo, I think he's got the skill. He's proven it. And the drive. I mean, I love that work ethic that he's put in. So many have really demonstrated that from that BJ Payne football program. And I think he's ready to head into Laramie over there in Wyoming and make an impact for a very strong FBS team. And that could be in line for some big-time success in 2022 and beyond. So they do have a lot of returnees in the secondary. He's going to have a lot of guys to compete with, but I think he'll have an opportunity to carve out a role maybe on special teams initially and try to work his way into that lineup. So I'm really high on his chances here at Wyoming. I think it's a great fit for him. I'm impressed. He did a great job taking a hard look, deciding what school's the best fit for him, and he marketed himself really well, which is really important. So really proud of Cole. I think this is a great fit for him. Look forward to seeing one of my favorite Seahawks in the past few years I've covered continue to carve out his career over there at Wyoming. So best of luck to Cole Marzo.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, obviously, we've talked about it a good bit, but the transfer portal, I think, is an overall net benefit to college football and college sports. Just giving student athletes an opportunity to put themselves in the best situations, and that's what it comes down to for me. That's who it's about. It's about them. It's about giving them opportunities at the college level, and if they want to continue their careers at the next level. And so, I think they should have the freedom to go where they want to go. And I'm happy for Cole that he's landed somewhere that he feels like is going to be a great fit for him, and hope to see him do very well there. The dude has bulked up. If you haven't seen him lately, he's jacked. A couple years on that Michigan State training table will do that for you. But I think he's going to do well there. And another Loco guy who's trying to make it at the next level is the leg of the Loco, the kicker from Hilton Head Prep, Trevor Weldon. And he had a fantastic opportunity this week. Got to play in the Blue Gray Bowl at AT&T Stadium, home of the Cowboys. Got to kick a couple of extra points. That didn't get a shot at a field goal, but got a couple extra points in there. And what a cool experience for Trevor to be able to play, on the star logo. That's just a phenomenal thing.
I mean, that's a dream come true for a ton of college football, high school football players when they're young and being able to play in that type of venue and kick at one of the biggest arenas in football fields in the country. Just an amazing experience, and just so happy for Trevor, and just an unbelievable honor for him. Not many high school football players ever get to say they played at AT&T Stadium, the home of the Dallas Cowboys. Doesn't get any bigger than that, and such a cool experience for him. And he was perfect on the day, as you mentioned, 3 of 3 on extra point attempts, and just performing on the biggest stage. A terrific job from Trevor, who we've called the leg of the Loco, who I remember hit that 50-yarder early in the season against Colleton Prep this year. What a weapon he has been. And I really hope he gets some looks at the next level, or at least a shot, because, of course, roster spots and scholarships are really hard to come by at the kicker position. But I think he certainly deserves a shot. And I think if he can get it done, who knows how far it could take him in the future. So, that's one of the experiences that he'll never forget. And I'm sure the Dolphins, Hilton Head Prep, going to miss him, especially next season.
Yeah, I know he does have quite a few offers. I don't know how many of them are scholarship versus walk-on. It's really hard to get scholarship money for kickers, especially in this day and age with guys getting extra years of eligibility. You're going to see more kickers sticking around for as long as they can, because if they can only get better and they can only improve their chances of getting to play at the next level. But I think Trevor is for sure going to get an opportunity. For him at this point, it's just a question of waiting to see what the best opportunity is for him, the best fit, and the best overall package, So he's got a lot of options out there. I know even the Ivies were sending him stuff. So, there's going to be a wide range from NAIA to Ivy League for this guy. And
he's
I
a
think
smart kid too.
He sure
He's
is.
smart.
I mean,
yeah.
If the Ivies are sending you letters, you're smart. I didn't get any of those. So, and I was pretty smart. But Trevor, I think we've seen with kickers that it doesn't really matter where you come from. It's all about the leg and the metrics. They don't care what jersey you wore in college. So I think Trevor's going to have an opportunity somewhere, and he is the kind of kid who's going to continue to work and perfect his craft and take it as far as he can go with it. So wish him the best of luck in his recruitment and beyond. And maybe someday he'll be in the NFL like our guy Poona Ford, who wasn't just playing in the NFL this year, but was ranked among the top defensive tackles in pass rushing for the 2021 season, which is a little bit of a change. That's an indication that Poona is really developing his all-around game, because he's always been known as a run stuffer, but he's one of the best pass rushing defensive linemen in the league now.
Yeah, well, that's an impressive accomplishment. What a great year for Poona. Was a tough one for the Seahawks as a whole, but Ford was just outstanding once again for that defensive line. And, the stats proved it when you looked at his performance, and 10th overall in pass rush win rates, which is really impressive, as you mentioned. And I mean, it's impressive of any scope, but when you realize that Poona came up mostly as a run stuffer, which really was his MO to start his career in Seattle, clogging up the run, but he has really grown as a pass rusher, and now top 10 in the league for all defensive tackles in that category, in shedding blocks and pass protection, which is absolutely huge. Even if you can't get to the quarterback, providing that pressure is enormous for forcing negative outcomes from the offense. And, that's one of the ways you can beat really good quarterbacks in the NFL. So great to see Poona excel, not just in the run game, but also in the pass rush defensively. And that's an awesome thing to see, especially going into a contract year in 2022-23, which could go a long way to seeing where his career goes from here. So I think you have to be impressed by what Poona is doing in Seattle and the impact that he has made for this Pete Carroll group, and his skill set being able to really provide that leverage to not only stuff the run, but provide good pass rushing as well. So he should be getting a lot of interest, I think, in free agency next year if he can keep this up. A big year coming up for him, and I'm sure he's going to work extra hard in the offseason trying to make that happen.
Yeah, we don't talk a ton about defensive tackles as pass rushers because they don't always show up in the stats. You don't get a lot of sacks. You just flush guys out of the pocket, and then your edge rushers come in and get them. So it's hugely important. I love these metrics that Pro Football Focus and groups like that put out, that you can really start to measure the effectiveness as some of these positions that don't show up in the box score. So very cool there. But let's shift gears a little bit. That's a lot of football, Wes. Let's talk some wrestling, because we had a huge Loco on Loco showdown on Wednesday night, and I was able to get over there and check it out. And May River retains their Region 7 4A dominance with a 43-28 win over Hilton Head, but it was much closer than that final score would indicate. And Ashley Powell over at May River was definitely a little nervous about this match. He felt like it was a bad matchup for them. And you take away one match where it was an unusual situation where Alex Ruckno goes out at 195 for Hilton Head, and he's up 12-4 after the first period, looking like he might even get a pin. And then there's a conference at the scorers table, and Patrick Boulware, the Hilton Head coach, was unaware that Alex had actually weighed in under 170. They had intended to weigh him in at 182 so he could bump up to 195, and caught up in the moment, big moment, swing point in the match. And Patrick, just an oversight on his part, sent the guy out there 2 weight classes up, and he gets disqualified after the first period. And I feel bad for Patrick. He's a young coach who's doing a terrific job there. And just, the moment kind of got away from him. It's a thing that happens, especially with young coaches. It'll be a lesson learned for him, and it'll make him a stronger coach in the future. But he was really beating himself up about it. And, that's at least probably a 10-point swing, if not a 12-point swing. And you've got a 15-point margin at the end. So one match swings the other way, and you've got, Hilton Head's on top. So, I think that's really interesting to me, because they could meet again in the Lower State semifinals. They met in the finals last year, could see each other in the semis this year. But it was a great match. It was a great atmosphere in the tank. The house was rocking. Every time there was a pin, both sides were, one side or the other was going crazy. The coaches were into it. And I just love to see this kind of rivalry between two local schools in wrestling, because I think it's only going to fuel the growth of the sport.
Yeah, just fantastic wrestling. And, it was a lot closer than the score would indicate, as you mentioned, 43-28. And that technicality that went against the Seahawks that that forced that disqualification ended up being absolutely huge. And Ruckno was up 12-4 in that match before he was disqualified. And, May River getting over the top because of that result. So that's a tough one for Hilton Head. Ended up being very costly, as you mentioned. That's a huge, huge swing in the outcome of the match. But still lots of positives, I thought, for the Seahawks in that wrestling match. Zeo Estrada earning a decision win. Drew Vi ended up coming up with a big victory over Isaiah Wysong, and but the Sharks still able to come through in this match. Some big showings from EJ Seaman, Miguel Caballero, and Gabe Juarez, all with pins. So a great result there for the May River Sharks. Chris Snowden and Santiago Rueda also with some wins by decision, and Devin Espinoza picking up a major decision for Hilton Head High. So another great battle between these two squads, and I think we could see it again potentially in the postseason. That would be a phenomenal match to witness one more time here in 2022. Just these teams compete incredibly well against each other, and it should be another great match if we see it in the playoffs, and I'm hoping we will. But a great win for the Sharks. Lots to be proud of if you're Coach Boulware as well at Hilton Head High. And what a great week it was for the Sharks, because they also took the coach trap duels earlier on. But what a challenge by Battery Creek. A great performance from the Dolphins as well. How about Sam Degroat and Riley Doray? They each went 5-0 with 4 pins. Just a phenomenal tournament for those two. I haven't seen many wrestlers who could take down Zeo Estrada in this area, and Degroat was one of them with that pin earlier on in the season. But he's become a star for that Creek team. Sam Degroat's been outstanding. I can't wait to see what Creek does in 3A wrestling. I think they'll be a problem for some teams. But Billy Hall, Rueda, Santiago Rueda for May River, they were a perfect 5-0 with 5 pins in the tournament. Just incredibly impressive from both of those young men. And we're just getting started here in this wrestling season. We got team and individual state championships, of course, coming up next month. Going to be some exciting duels on the way leading up to that. And man, just these wrestling matches are just so fun to cover. I was able to see Hilton Head High and Battery Creek last week, and just everybody gets into these matches, and you don't see that same excitement across some other sports. So it's a ton of fun, and I look forward to some more great wrestling action in the weeks, months to come here in Loco.
It's definitely an intense sport and an intense environment, and there's a lot of heavily charged emotions going on when it's happening. But yeah, there were some really great matches in that Hilton Head May River matchup. You mentioned the highlight was Vi versus Wysong, which Wysong had beaten him twice already this season, and Vi got a little revenge. We're going to see those two go back and forth all season. Every match, it seems like, it's a 1-point match, so they're going to have some great duels. Santiago Rueda with the major decision over Darnell Bronner. That was a solid win because Darnell's a top 5 guy in the state. Caballero getting the pin over KJ Holland, another ranked wrestler. That was huge. And then Chris Snowden, with a 4-3 decision over Chris Crosby at 182 was big too. So there's a bunch of matches there that could kind of go the other way if you see a rematch potentially. And it also depends on who wins the flip and who gets to send when they want to send, because if people don't know, in wrestling, you have to alternate which team sends their guy out first. And if you have multiple wrestlers weighed in at the same weight, you can do some things strategically to bump around and try to get better matchups for yourself. So there's a lot of strategy going on behind the scenes, and that's how something like sending a guy out at the wrong weight class happens too, because you're just trying to move those chess pieces around and give yourself an advantage, and sometimes something slips through the cracks. And it was a great catch by the May River coaches to catch that too. So that's all part of the gamesmanship and the inside part of the game, or part of the sport with wrestling, that makes it so much fun, especially because these coaches know each other and their wrestlers so well. They're always trying to outmaneuver the other. So it makes it a lot of fun to see what they come up with. But I look forward to following all those teams on through the postseason. And like you mentioned, Zeo Estrada, it was great to see her back out there this week after missing the first half of the season with an injury. She's not down to her natural weight yet. I don't think she needs to be at 120. And when she gets there, she's going to be a lot more effective, but she's a terrific technical wrestler and so much fun to watch. And I like seeing when she gets herself in trouble and has to scramble out of it, because she's as good at it as anybody I've ever seen. So she's fun to watch. Great wrestling going on here in the Loco, and we look forward to a lot more of it this season. And thanks to Reverence Wrestling Club for sponsoring all of our Loco wrestling coverage this year. One more note before we take a break, Wes, and that's some volleyball action going on in the area. It's club volleyball season, of course, and the high school stars are coming out to play for their club teams. And the Low Country Volleyball Club, with a huge win this past weekend, went up to the Palmetto Volleyball Championships January Jam, and they go undefeated, win every set, and win the championship with players from 6 different local high schools. So great to see all those players from the Loco coming together, much like they do with H2 basketball, and putting our best foot forward and going out and bringing home a championship.
Yeah, outstanding job there by a couple standout volleyball players from across the area. Our very own all-star team of volleyball stars getting it done in a big-time tournament and just dominating this January Jam event. Some excellent names on this list, including Abby Peduzzi, the star from Hilton Head Christian Academy, taking some time out of basketball season to compete in the volleyball court too. So just continue to be impressed by Abby and all that she does, and to really improve herself as an athlete and continuing to shine on the court and on the soccer field as well. So some others as well who have been just outstanding for this Low Country Volleyball Club squad. Siobhan Rogers, Christina Trice, and Faith Paxton for Bluffton, Reagan Evans and Mallory Gilmore from May River, Isabella Taramachia and Leah Jackson. Jackson had a great season for the high school Hilton Head Seahawks, and Emily O'Sullivan and Abigail Croft, O'Sullivan from JP2 and Croft from Patrick Henry. So some great names on this list, and what a performance. They win all 12 sets to take first in a 16-team field. So that's really impressive. Outstanding job, and we've got some standout volleyball talent here in the area. We already knew that based on the success that's been developed at Hilton High and Hilton Head Christian Academy as well. But, across the board, we've really produced some outstanding volleyball talent, and we'll have the All Loco volleyball teams coming out soon to honor all of our standouts. And I'm just really excited for the future of the sport going forward here in the Loco, and great to highlight the club scene because it's a year-round sport. It's not just in the fall. I mean, you got to work all year to get better, and these young women have been putting in that work, and it's been paying off here on the club scene, picking up a huge tournament win.
Yeah, it's great stuff, and you love to see the kids developing their skills in the off season. And how about Abby Peduzzi? I mean, she goes and puts up, I think she had like 20 and 12 or something on Friday night, and then she goes and plays volleyball all weekend and wins a championship. So that's pretty impressive stuff. At my age, you can't do that kind of stuff anymore. So props to Abby. That's great. You mentioned the All Loco volleyball team. We do intend to release All Loco teams for all the fall sports, but we do need sponsors for that. We need sponsors to support what we do here, and that's how we're able to keep it going. So if you know anyone who would like to sponsor our All Loco teams and help us shine a light on the brightest stars here in the Loco sports scene, we want to hear from them, and we'll get you a little finder's fee for bringing us a sponsor too. So hit us up at LowcoSports@gmail.com, LOWCO sports@gmail.com, and introduce us to those potential sponsors, and we'll take it from there and take care of you on the back end. But let's take a quick break, Wes, and hear from some of those sponsors, and we'll be right back with your interview with Sully Gay from the Buford Academy boys basketball team here on the Loco Sports Lowdown. Hey, Loco Sports fans. Does your business or organization need a new website or need help drawing more visitors to an existing site? Dds Web Design can make it happen. From simple HTML pages to get businesses online to complex site designs with maximum functionality, DDS has services suited to every budget, and they love working with small businesses and entrepreneurs. They also build year-round maintenance into every package, so your website is always up to date. Check them out at ddswebdesign.com or call 843-931-8668 and tell them Loco sent you. Hey, Loco Sports fans, you know we're all about keeping it local, and that goes for pizza night too. When you've got a craving for the best pie in town or the best kept secret, their amazing mac and cheese, keep it local with Local Pie. They have 2 locations, on the Promenade in Bluffton and on New Orleans Road on Hilton Head Island, where they serve up incredible wood-fired pizza featuring regional sourced ingredients, and their mac and cheese is the best kept secret in town. And they're committed to giving back to the community and protecting the environment. So when it's time for takeout, keep it local with Local Pie, the official pizza sponsor of Loco Sports. Hey, Loco Sports fans, are you looking to promote your business or organization? You can do it right here with the sponsorship of the Loco Sports Lowdown podcast, the Loco Hoops Report, or the Loco Pigskin podcast. Rates start at a very affordable $50 a week to advertise your event, organization, or business and reach a loyal local audience that supports grassroots local sports journalism. Send us an email at LowcoSports@gmail.com today to get started. Go Loco!
All right, we are now joined by Buford Academy basketball star Sully Gay here on the Loco Lowdown. Sully, what a great start for you and your Buford Academy team this year, sitting at 19-4. How fun has the season been so far?
It's been really great. I would say a big improvement from last year, especially like playing all the public schools we have and just like the different play style, like playing a lot faster, more intense on defense, and just like having more freedom and allowing people to use the certain skills that they have to create for themselves.
I've really enjoyed watching you guys so far. I think you've played the most games out of any team possibly in the state, if not very close to that number. Tell me about playing such a busy schedule early on, especially in those early months, November, December, now going into January, and the challenges and then the benefits of playing so many games to really get yourselves going.
I honestly think it'd be a lot harder, like just mentally and on my body, but it just really hasn't. Although we have played a lot of easier teams, we have played some tough ones like Hilton Head High, Cathedral, Stall, but the benefits I would say are it's just like game after game. You don't have to think about it, and you can just get into a rhythm easier, just playing back-to-back nights, and just having that experience. Just gaining more experience by playing more games. Like practice is definitely important, but being able to play back-to-back games like that, I feel like it helps with our endurance.
What a season it has been for yourself right now, and you've just become a breakout star so far in your sophomore campaign for Buford Academy, averaging almost 14 points a game, over 8 rebounds, and then over 2 assists and steals per game. Just reflect on how far you have come just over the last few months as a basketball player.
Again, like I said, with the play style we have, I feel like I've gotten a lot more freedom, and like all my numbers and how I've been playing, like I wouldn't be able to do that without all my teammates. Like Braden, he's bailed us out on defense so many times. He just plays so hard. Zeke throws great passes. Jackson and D, they play great defense as soon as they get in the game. I feel like we have a lot of depth. So like if I ever get tired, like I know we'll be good because we have people like Gavin and Eddie coming off the bench to help us out.
Tell me about your background of playing basketball, how long you've been playing the sport, what drew you to the sport when you first started playing, and how you've really evolved as now a key point guard for the Buford Academy Eagles.
My dad was big with sports. He played 3 sports in high school, so I was kind of always around sports, and there's no real reason why I chose basketball. I just kind of did. I started playing seriously in 5th grade, and then I started playing AAU in 6th grade. I've just been around. I've just been in the gym ever since then.
You got to play under Bobby Smith, who was such a legendary head coach. What did you learn from your time under him as an 8th grader and as a freshman that has allowed you to really take that next step here in your sophomore year so far?
He taught me that like you have to control the things that you can control, like defense and rebounding, especially defense. He was big on defense and intensity. He knew how important hard work was, and he was very like he cared about every single one of us. And like if you asked to get into the gym, like he would like with no hesitation try to get in the gym with you and help you work on whatever you needed to work on.
One of the greats that has ever come through here in the low country and in terms of basketball coaching, we've had a bunch of big names. Jerry Faulkner, who you'll be going up against on Friday night with Hilton Head
Yep.
Prep. But you guys got a great head coach in his first year as well, Nick Field, who's been a part of the program for a long time, including in the athletic director role, and now taking over as the head coach. And what a start he has had to his first season at the helm of this BA basketball program. Tell me about your relationship with Coach over the years, and especially this year now with Field at the head coach level, and how he has really fueled you guys to buy in together and to play hard every night.
We knew exactly what we do after last season ended. We were kind of, I would say, all talk last year. We would kind of hype up the season and get into it. And it's just this year, we've probably heard it before, but we want to expect to deserve to win every single game. Meaning just, like I said, control the things we need to control, like win the battle on the rebounds, dive for loose balls, play our hardest defense, just all those things, and then just let the offense come to us. And really that's where we get most of our freedom from, is as long as we're doing the things that we need to do, like defensive rebounding, then we get rewarded with freedom on offense.
Execute what you need to do, and sometimes the rest will take care of itself. So what a great start for you, Sully. And you got to tell me about the fascination with the oranges. From what I've heard, you've been eating oranges before, after games, which has led you to this superb start. Tell me about how this tradition started and how it's grown and become a part of now a BA basketball culture.
Honestly, I really don't remember how it started. I think it was the third or fourth game, and Brayden's grandma, like, she cut up all the oranges, and he brought them into the locker room. They're like, we got oranges. Everybody started eating them. And then after that, it was like we needed the oranges. I remember we went to the College Prep tournament a few weeks ago during the break, and we had just played the last game of the tournament against College Prep, and there was a big storm in Walterboro, and we got on the minibus just about to leave, and somebody asked where the oranges were, because we always have them. We have, like, there's one orange in a bunch of different little Ziploc bags, and we put it in a big grocery bag. Somebody asked where they were, and we realized we left them in the locker room. So Brandon Trapp got off the minibus, like, in his slides, stepping in puddles, went all the way back to the locker room, got them, and it's just like they just became so important to our routine and everything we did. So
That's awesome. I gotta love those traditions that we see throughout sports that you guys have taken up, and another thing that has really bonded you guys together as teammates, but also the fans, parents, and supporters of this team. And I'm guessing we may see some more oranges on sale, maybe at some home games this year if this keeps going. Such a fun tradition that now has become a huge part. And just tell me your thoughts on how things like these really bond a team like this together.
It's just like the little things like that. It just, like, it creates a more positive environment. One thing we also say, besides, like, expect to deserve to win, is be loose but not too loose. Like, he just been, like, telling us to just be ourselves. Like, it's important to lock in before a game and be prepared for what you need to do, but, like, not to go out, like, trying to be all serious, not be yourself, but being loose but still being focused on the game. I feel like that relieves a lot of pressure on all of us and makes just playing the game more fun together.
Yeah, have fun, play the game that you love. That's all it's about. And you guys are doing a great job of it so far. And you guys got a big one coming up tomorrow night, Friday night at home. You're taking on Hilton Head Prep, the Dolphins, going up against your old teammate and Ben Fry making his return over there to BA. So it should be a great atmosphere.
Yep.
How much are you looking forward to this one? And what do you guys got to do to knock off the Dolphins?
Like we've been saying, we try to treat every game like it's the same. That's why, like, some of the scores you've seen are kind of outrageous. It's because every game we just, like I said, like, control the things we can't control. So when we play games like that, we'll be ready for ones like these. But it's still, like, it's important as every game we've played so far this season, and we just plan on doing the same things we have been. Obviously, like, we have the scouting report, but we're just gonna expect to deserve to win.
Absolutely. Let's talk about your game and how you've really taken that next step so far in your sophomore year at point guard, and how have you been working over these past few months during the summer and then going into this winter season to really perfect your ball handling and your shooting abilities heading into your sophomore season?
Um, a big part of my improvement with the with the ball handling situation is definitely Raul Owens. Working out with him all summer, I wasn't very good at making the right reads, and I'm still not as good as I should be. But he definitely helped me with that. And during the summer, I definitely improved on that. And it's good knowing that I have someone like Zeke, like Braden, Timmy, that like if I'm not handling the ball at the moment, that they have my back. And just working all summer to perfect something like that, knowing what I need to do to get better.
Just expand on your relationship with Ryle Owens and the example that he has set now, working so hard throughout his high school career, throughout his college career, and now playing professional basketball overseas.
Um, well, it kind of started kind of towards last year. I was just always in the gym, and I knew what I had to do to get better. And he was also, obviously trying to get to where he's at now. And we were just always in the gym together, always working out together. And he helped me improve. And it's great what he's doing overseas. Hopefully, he can come back here, go to the next level, G League, maybe even the NBA. But he's putting up good numbers there. And it's just like seeing him put in the work he did over the summer to get that point was just amazing.
Certainly an inspiration to so many athletes here in the Low Country, what he's doing, and so many of our other stars, including Nick Pringle, who's now playing at Dodge City and is on his way to Alabama. But let's talk more about your game over these past few months and weeks. Have you enjoyed taking on more of a spot up shooter role, or would you consider yourself more of a pass first guard, looking to make the best play for the team? How has your play at point guard really evolved throughout this season so far?
Um, like I said, I got a lot better at making reads, so I love to make like the best pass I can. But also, I love to drive and like get tough finishes. I'm still working on the spot shooting, but yeah, I just try to make the best play possible if I can.
Got to see you guys up against Hilton at Christian. He was really impressed. But what I noticed about this team has really been that combined hustle every time down the floor, just giving that extra effort to force turnovers, make that big stop on defense, or fight for that loose ball. Tell me about how you and your team have really developed that winning mentality throughout the early part of this season.
Um, I just feel like the guys that are all on the team right now have their play has always been playing hard. Like Braden, Jackson, D, Zeke, like they've always everybody's known them to play hard. And we know that if we win every little play, it'll lead to a successful game.
Tell me about those holiday tournaments. Not picking up just one, but picking up two trophies during the holiday break. And what was that? What was it that really clicked for you guys over that stretch that has really carried over into region play with those wins and with those tournament championships?
Probably just the ability to make adjustments in the game when we need to. Like Hanahan, they started setting ball screens on the wing, and we knew we would need a hedge or just switch, and then eventually got up by 20 points and won that game. And then in the Carlin Prep tournament, played Orangeburg Prep. We were down by 16 at the half, but like we just kept encouraging each other, knowing the game wasn't over. And then we had a big third quarter coming back, and then I think we only lost by 8. So just being able to make adjustments and just no matter what the score is, playing as hard as we can and playing smart.
Really terrific resiliency and hard work by all of you guys on this team so far. And I mean, talk about how well Marion Wilson has played, who's just excellent over there at forward, just a freshman. You're only a sophomore, so a couple really talented underclassmen. Of course, Marion Wilson breaking the BA scoring record for a single game. a great moment there. I really love the play of Braden Deneen, really terrific energy from him. Gavin Midyett had a great game against HHCA as well. And then Jackson Porter, another guy who's been a real spark plug, had a great football season and now has translated that to the basketball court as well. You guys are really deep. I really like the chances of this BA team going forward. What is going to make BA tough for anyone to take down heading into the meat of region play and beyond into the postseason?
Like you mentioned, we have Gavin and Jackson and D and Eddie coming off the bench, so we just have a lot of depth. Like, if a team has the better 1 through 5, like, we can almost guarantee we have the better 6 through 12. So just our bench does a lot for us. I feel like they do a lot compared to the other region teams that we've seen, and they'll definitely be a factor in our future games.
Depth is incredibly important, especially going into the postseason. Having so many guys you can rely upon and come in and get minutes and have productive minutes, absolutely huge down the stretch of this basketball season. How big was that first region win? You guys got a bunch of victories in the outer region schedule, but how big was that one to take down Hilton Head Christian Academy on the road? Fell behind early, but you found a way to make some defensive stops and take control before halftime. How did that win really set you up for what should be a really strong region outcome here in 2022?
Just like going into that game, we knew exactly what we needed to do. We knew the scouting report, and we just tried to execute as best as we could. And it was a good feeling knowing that we won by 13 and me and Omarion only combined for 12 points. So that gives us a lot of hope going into the other region games to play.
Absolutely, to have that versatile scoring. You can rely on so many guys to carry the load on different nights. That's absolutely huge. Tell me about some areas. Every team knows that they can find ways to improve. And what are some areas that you'd like to see yourself and your team get better as a team as you prepare for that stretch run in just a couple of weeks?
I know people see us as we play really well together, but everyone on the team knows that we could play even better, even like closer together, have more team chemistry than we already do. And in terms of like actual like offense, defense, our outside shooting definitely has to improve. Our rebound has been great. Our defense has been great, but yeah, probably outside shooting and maybe turnovers too. That's probably what we need to improve on.
Well, Sully, when you're not out on the basketball court or in the classroom, what are your favorite hobbies? What do you like to do with your friends in your free time?
With school and basketball, it's kind of hard to find something to do without being just super exhausted. And I'm kind of a laid back, boring person in general. I mean, like sometimes I'll play video games. If I feel like I do my homework. Usually I'm just on my phone or talking to people whenever I feel like it. And one thing I would say that I do whenever I'm like super bored is I watch a lot of film of just our games. It was like last week or 2 weeks ago. We were looking at everybody's time for how much film they watched, and I was like 6 or 7 hours that week. So.
That's terrific. Outstanding. That you take time to really study film and find ways to get yourself better, even when you're not on the court. So that's fantastic. You've really done a great job just embracing the grind and putting the work, which is awesome to see. And certainly it's been even tougher for our student athletes more than ever with Omicron still on the rise. How are you guys committing to staying safe and minimizing the chance of an infection within your team as you look to stay on the court and make a playoff run?
We just try to stay away from people that aren't on the basketball team as much as possible. Like in class, we'll if it's possible, because our classrooms are so small, try to sit like a desk or two away from anybody else and just like wear our masks when we're supposed to. And just yeah, that's kind of it.
Your school, your team has done a great job in that area for the last couple of years during this pandemic. Hopefully we can see in a few weeks that we'll be in a much better spot and get ourselves primed for a really good postseason environment and not have to worry about COVID jeopardizing it as much. But here's to a successful playoff run for a bunch of our loco teams. But for you guys, already 19 wins in, and we're just in the middle of January. Really impressive. What a year it's been so far for the Buford Academy Eagles. Going to be a fantastic game Friday night against Hilton Head Prep. And do you think you guys have a shot to go on a run and make some noise in the postseason? I mean, what's going to have to happen for you guys to keep playing deep into February?
Just we understand now that or it was understood that our pre-region games, like our great defense and just hustle was going to get us by. But now that we're in the region, we know that we need to do exactly that, win the battle of the rebounds, but also like the little stuff like executing plays, like getting open shots, moving the ball around as much as we can, and just being ourselves, like I said, and not putting a lot of pressure on ourselves, and hopefully that'll boost us to a run in the playoffs.
Make some winning plays, and if they add up, you'll be doing some great things. Sully, we wish you the best of luck on Friday night and going forward here in the season. Really excited for this group, BA basketball, and you've been a big part of it. What a breakout season you've had so far, and thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Wes. Well, unfortunately, I couldn't join you for that interview with Sully. I was out on the island checking out my daughter's first gymnastics meet, so I was unavailable last night, but did get to listen to your interview with Sully, and he's a terrific young man who is really developing into an outstanding basketball player, and I'm so excited about that program for the next couple of years because they're so young and talented.
Yeah, awesome to talk with Sully. What a season he and the BA Eagles are having here in 2022 so far. And I'm not sure if it's because of the oranges that they've been eating, but I think it may be part of it, a big part of it, actually. And, man, you just go back to what Nick Field tells this team to be ready wherever and whenever they play and have that winning mentality anytime they take the court. And they've proved already 19 wins going in to Hilton Head Prep, a big one hosting the Dolphins this Friday. Going to have to dig even deeper to get that one because the Dolphins are rolling right now, including a former BA standout in Ben Fry coming back, making his return over there to Buford Academy to play against the Eagles. But, man, this Nick Field coached BA team and Field's first season at the helm has been really fun to watch. Marion Wilson has just been a breakout freshman. Love the athleticism of Braden Deneen. Gavin Midyett has been putting in some good minutes as well. And then, so of course, Sully Gay, who I've been really impressed with. And he knew how much that he has improved his play going into this season. He's really improved his vision, ability to become that versatile scorer and just taking time out of his free time to watch film for hours. That really shows his dedication to the game and his willingness to be the best possible player. And, when you put in that hard work and you're going to be rewarded. And what a breakout star he has become during the sophomore year and still 2 more full years after this one. What a bright future for both Sully and this Buford Academy boys team as a whole. So I'm really excited about this Eagles program. What an opportunity to make a big statement on Friday night against Hilton Head Prep.
Yeah, it's going to be a great game. I'm planning to be over there. Should be a good time, and I look forward to seeing how those teams match up with one another in the first of 2 meetings. It's going to be fun to watch both of those. But all right, Wes. Well, let's name our teams of the week. It's time for that. It's always tough this time of year. We got a lot of teams out there competing, and a bunch of them doing great things. So, who are you going with in the first pick of the draft?
Well, speaking of that Hilton Head Prep BA game, I'm going to go with the Hilton Head Prep Dolphin boys team. Just another fantastic week for Jerry Faulkner and the Dolphins as they dominate a really good St. Andrews team, get the season sweep. And then they take down Hilton Head Christian Academy, their rivals. So Sean Cusano, I've been singing his praises for the better of last week, and he has just been a beast on the boards and been such a reliable scorer as well. And he's been active blocking shots as well. Really been at the forefront in every area for the Hilton Head Prep team. And J.J. Hayes, just terrific leadership for this program now in the senior year. Crossed the 1,000 point mark last week. His presence is absolutely huge. love the play of those guards and Ben Fry and Andrew Helms, two new additions to this team. Helms coming over from Christian Academy, a pair of solid outside shooters who can also make some impact plays, get some steals on the defensive end. And then Kane Eanes, what a special and versatile player he's become. He went from just a spot shooter to now a guy who can consistently drive it to the rim and score some buckets, can do a little bit of everything, can play some good D. A great season once again here for Kane Eanes. And then they're just getting Ryan McKell back. Ryan Michael, their veteran shooting guard, set to return. So this team is really deep this year. I think they got weapons really at every area. Going to be tough once they get to the 3A playoffs. That division, SCISA Class 3A, is just loaded in terms of basketball, especially on the boys' side. And, I think this group is more talented and deeper than last year's team, but it's going to be tough to take down those quality teams like Porter Dowd and Trinity Collegiate, among others. So it's going to be, I think, another great season for Hilton Head Prep in region play, and I'll definitely give them a shot to make a run in a very tough bracket here in SCISA 3A hoops.
Yeah, they're a terrific team. I got to see them for the first time on Friday night at Hilton Head Christian, and they work really well together. I think they're sorting out some of their early chemistry issues of who's going to get the ball. They're starting to figure that out and know what situations certain guys need the ball in. They're really good in transition. They can run. JJ and Kane Eanes and even Sean Cusano, the big guys, can get out and run along with the guards. So they're fun to watch, man. And you got to see Andrew Helms go against his old team on Friday night, and now you get to see Ben Frey go against his old team on this Friday. So that's kind of fun too. And definitely both those guys are really giving them a spark in the backcourt. So they're fun to watch. I'm going to go to the wrestling mat. I'm going to go with that May River Sharks wrestling team. We give them a lot of love, but this was a big win over Hilton Head, and honestly, it was a big win over Battery Creek too. That's a solid team as well, and they had to fight for it. And they're having they've got 6 or 7 guys that they know what they're going to get from every night, and they're trying to get a little bit more out of the other 6 or 7. And I think they're going to get there over time. You're seeing improvement. The 113 pounder, Caden McCallum, was wrestling really well the other night, and then he got caught in a headlock and got pinned. But that's one of those guys that maybe they can count on for a little bit more. Corey Folk and they've got some different guys that they're trying to work in there and get them up to another level. And I think Billy Hall is getting on that level. He's starting to become one of those 7 or 8 guys they can count on night in and night out. So, I think they're still a work in progress, and Coach Powell would definitely tell you that. And certainly Hilton Head's right on their heels, and they know it. So they're going to be in the room getting after it this week and trying to get better and see if they can hold off the Seahawks again in the postseason. But got to give a lot of credit to that May River team.
Yeah, absolutely. Big win for the May River Sharks. And, Ashley Powell doing some great things. Of course, took them all the way to the state championship bout last year, and they're looking very solid here in 2022, looking to get back there. And you look at what they did against Hilton Head High, a very hard-fought win, had to work to get it done. But, what a great performance from guys like Miguel Cavallero, EJ Seaman, Gabe Juarez, Chris Snowden, Santiago Rueda. They've got some depth. They got some great wrestling across the board. And I'm excited for this May River Shark team going forward. They're certainly looking like the class of wrestling here in the Low Country. Got a great challenge from Hilton Head. They're certainly breathing down their necks. It was a very close match. And, of course, that big disqualification made a big outcome in the final score. But, I still am really high on this May River team. They got some experience. They've got some great talent coming up the pipeline. And I think this Shark group is going to be a quality program for a long time. And excited to see them potentially take on Hilton Head again. And what a performance, of course, at those Coach Trap tools. Outstanding job by Billy Hall and Santiago Rueda, 5-0 with 5 pins. I don't care who you go up against. That is hard to do, that consistency to win all your matches and not just do that, but win them all in pins. Incredibly impressive job by both of those two. So what a start for May River Wrestling here in 2022. And I think they can take it deep once again here. And I'm excited for a potential rematch with Hilton Head Seahawks. That would be something if those two will meet up again.
No question. All right. Well, let's talk a little more football before we get out of here, Wes, because we are just about 24 hours away now from the kickoff of the Blitz Border Bowl over in Savannah. The Low Country's best senior high school football players against the best from Savannah and the Coastal Empire. And the Locos got one under their belt, but we're behind in the series. Can we even it up on Saturday? And what's it going to take from the Loco Stars to get it done?
Yeah, I can't wait for the Blitz Border Bowl. Just so awesome to have it back after losing it in 2021. But I'm really excited for this edition of Team Loco, and I really think they could surprise here and win this thing. I think you could see a lot of Jamian Risher, the incredible mobile quarterback from Wade Hampton, who is a part of Team Loco, and I could see him under center alongside Tyler Haley sprinkled in there for third down passing plays and some other situations. But Risher gives you so much versatility with that speed and explosiveness and that power over there at quarterback. And if you decide to run more of that option offense with that just incredible group of running backs and Mari Morris, Joseph Hicks, Speed Robinson, Jeremiah Dilbert, just an incredible group of backs on that roster. He got just so much speed and power coming out of those four, plus Chase McCracken, who had a standout season for Hilton Head High. So, if they can get some blocking from those studs up front, like John Asher Howell and Xavier Chaplin, that can really set the tone for this rushing attack. And I think the play at the line will be key on both sides of the ball. And I think if the defense can make some stops, which certainly won't be easy to do against a quality Coastal Empire group, and I think the group of local defensive backs, I think they're really underrated. When you look at Jamian Risher, looks like he may be playing on both sides, and Hunter Rast, James Turbo Townsend, Jayon Allen, Nasir Chisholm, both from May River, so many others capable of making some big plays. But I think the key is that defensive line of DJ Aiken, Alvin Wilson, Jake Rodney Brown. What a nice group right there, alongside some others. And can they find a way to penetrate the backfield and get Team Georgia behind the sticks? And then, of course, on special teams, you have the best kicker in the Loco end of the area in Trevor Weldon. And there may not be anyone more confident in the last few years with the game potentially on his foot at the end than Trevor Weldon. He's just been incredible this year. Coming back from that showcase game we talked about in Dallas, playing at AT&T Stadium, now finishing up his high school football career right here in the Blitz Border Bowl this Saturday. And I think if Team Loco, if they can pick up an early lead, play with the lead, which really suits their rushing dominate offensive looks, I think they can take control of this game and make it difficult for the Coastal Empire to stay in it. So I think it should be a terrific, I think it should be a competitive game. And of course, we'll have all the coverage for you here pre, during, and post game on our Twitter page at LowcoSports. And of course, the recap and videos and more on LowcoSports.com. Cannot wait to cover the 2022 Blitz Border Bowl.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast. And mentioning Weldon, if I recall correctly, they don't let you rush kicks, so even field goals. So, Weldon gets to take a run at it and see how far he can kick it. Maybe Bryce Labrin will let him take a shot at 1 over 50 and see what he can do. But that could be a weapon for them, because with no rush, man, you can just let it loose. We may see Weldon kick a bunch of field goals and put them over the top for all we know. So it should be a lot of fun. It's going to be great to get to see those guys we've covered for, 3, 4, sometimes even more years to get out there and play one last time and strap it on for the Loco and see if they can bring one home. It's going to be a great time. Hope you guys can watch it on WSAV. If not, like Wes said, we'll have you covered on Twitter and then with full coverage of the game on the website later on. And of course, we'll talk about it on the pod next week. And on that note, a little bit of news on the pod. You'll be able to catch our podcast, the video version, on the county channel. Beginning this week, we're going to have the Loco Hoops Report airing every Friday night at 8 p.m. and the Loco Sports Lowdown every Sunday at 8 p.m. So yet another way you can keep up with the latest local sports news in the Low Country. And many thanks to Chris Ophart over at the county channel for setting this up and getting it in motion, because I think it's going to be a great opportunity to get the good news about our local athletes and teams out to more people, Wes.
Absolutely. That's so exciting. Thank you to the county channel for setting this up, and excited to have more eyes watching us talk about local sports, and just great to have more coverage here and more opportunities to just showcase our amazing student athletes, coaches, and so many others here in the Low Country.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this show. Thanks so much to Sully Gay for sitting down with Wes, and thanks to our sponsors, as well as to all of you for listening. That's going to do it for this one. Until next time, Go Loco.